Hey folks, Jesus is coming soon. So I don't know if anybody else is really paying attention. It seems like not many people are anymore about everything going on. Like for instance, between NATO and Russia and all this other stuff going on, especially with Israel. You know, it seems like the entire world right now is coming against Israel. But NATO is non-stop poking that bear, just like what just came out, I think, a couple of days ago with the German generals talking about bombing the Crimean Bridge and all this other stuff. Well, they got caught doing it. Now they're coming up with excuses of how, you know, they didn't say it that way. That's not how they meant it, and all this other stuff, when literally it was. Also heard one of the Germans talking about that the Russians shouldn't have been listening in on their conversations and all this other stuff. Well, if you look at it from another country's point of view, when you have 10 plus countries coming against you, surrounding you and plotting things on you and doing things to you through a country that you're already at war with, it's kind of hard not to want to listen in. Now, I'm not siding with anybody. I believe all governments of the world are evil. I don't care what anybody says, and I don't stand behind governments. Looking at our country right now, the United States, is the way that they're portraying themselves is exactly like this.
There is no more need for fear. We are from the government and we are here to help you. All will be fine now, if you get in line.
And that in itself is scary. Looking around today at the United States and looking back in history, I really see no difference between the United States today and Nazi Germany. It's obey or pay. If you do something wrong, they send out SS troops to come question you. Where are you going? Let me see your papers, all this other stuff. Obey or pay. You have to take these direct orders or you get slammed on the pavement and all this other stuff. That's just the way it works here, the same way it worked in Nazi Germany. But if you look at the United States in history, pre-World War II, it was completely different. So I truly look around when people say freedom or all this other stuff. There's so much more I want to say, but people get so easily offended, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. But I look around, honestly, what freedom? Even right now, I can get in trouble for saying what I'm saying here. So again, what freedom? We have to watch what we say online. We have to watch what we say in person. We have to watch everything we do because we're constantly being watched. And what freedom? So many inside the church and outside the church I see everywhere are looking for a man to save this country and in turn save the world. They're not looking where they need to be looking. The only one that's going to come on scene to save the world is going to be the Antichrist. While most everybody is looking forward, I'm looking up. That's what we should all be doing right now, church. Because if anyone is watching and watching closely, you can clearly see as the day is long, Jesus is coming so very soon. Folks, I want to add something that I just feel like talking about. It's just, God is good. So, for a long time, I say probably 6 years, I have been wanting a camera, a good camera. So, I enjoy taking pictures of wildlife and everything else. Anybody that knows me personally knows that, even though I've been made fun of before. Not very good at taking pictures of people, but I like taking pictures, clouds, trees, birds, just anything that I see that just hits my eye good, Well, I haven't been able to afford a camera. So the other day, I was at the dump and I was throwing away some boxes. Y'all won't believe what I found. So this right here was just sitting there at the dump. Nothing wrong with it. It needed a battery. So I happen to have one here. I don't know where it came from. It was just in a box. Probably my daddy's stuff. And I put it in here, perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it. And it takes great pictures. It'll even zoom all the way into the moon. It's crazy. Speaking of that, I went today, threw some trash away. See, here in this little town, they don't have trash pickup, and if they do, it's like $60 a month. And I mean, the dump's literally maybe a mile down the road, so I just take the trash. There's always other guys out there digging in the metal bin and all this other stuff, which I don't care to do. I don't mind that anybody else does it, but one of the guys that I know, he said, hey, have you been in the open top today? He's like, no. And I told him about this camera I found the other day. And he said, come here, I want to show you something. Well, I walk over to the back of his truck, and he pulls out this red cloth, which I thought was a cloth at first. And I said, my instant words was, man, that's old. And he said, yeah, look at this. And he unraveled it, and it was a German Nazi flag. And I knew it was old. I mean, you could tell by the fabric. It had to have been late 30s, early 40s. And I said, you found that in there? And he said, yeah. I said, there ain't no telling how much that's worth. Well, we got to talking, and someone else earlier today, this morning, found I believe it was a Luftwaffe cap. And the story behind all this is a World War II veteran had recently died out here in this town, and somebody's going through and throwing all this stuff away in his house. They're not even looking at the stuff. They're just scooping everything up, putting it in bags, and chunking it out there. There's no telling what's out there right now, but I just found that very interesting that I guess this person throwing away that just don't know anything about history. Either that or they just don't care, because the guy also found all kinds of rings and earrings, and some of it looked like it was real gold to me. Though there's been a few people asking us if we found a place or whatnot, and the problem is there's more places that are for sale, and I understand right now in a lot of instances it's cheaper to get a mortgage than it is to rent. The problem is, when I've talked to mortgage companies, it's not that we don't have the credit, it's they're wanting right now people to have 40% of their income free for some reason. And I asked the question, what middle class or low class American today has 40% of their income free? Surely not very many, because most people that I know live paycheck to paycheck. So that's the issue we're running into right now in rent houses. We've priced a bunch of them. They're going anywhere from $900 to $1,200 a month, and these are for single wide trailers. So we're trying our best here, y'all. We really are, and I don't know how we're going to do it, but by the grace of God, we're going to find something by May 31st, I believe. But that's that. Keep looking up, folks. I'm telling y'all, Jesus is coming so very soon, regardless of what anybody says, comes here and says, or says to any of y'all. We know the scriptures, and we can see clearly what's going on right now. Keep looking up, seriously. Romans 10:9-13. I love all of you. I really do. God bless.